In Frank Herbert's Dune, a large part of what allows the Fremen to survive on Arrakis is how the water is central to their way of life, almost sacred. In no way is it wasted. Spoilers for the first book throughout. You see, my climate demands a special attitude towards water. You are aware of water at all times. You waste nothing that contains moisture. For the Fremen, the water in your body does not belong to you. It belongs to the tribe. So, for example, when a Fremen dies, they are not buried or cremated as someone might be in our world, but they are rendered down into water, so it can be reclaimed. Or during ritual combat between two Fremen, whoever loses, their water is used to replenish the winner, so even in death, nothing is wasted. With a Fremen suit in good working order, you won't lose more than a thimbleful of moisture a day. To be able to conserve as much as possible, they had many customs to preserve the water. One of the biggest parts for this were the still suits. These are filtration systems for the entire body. To reclaim the moisture that would normally be lost, headgear would also be used to prevent sweat from the scalp and forehead being wasted. For the Fremen's breathing, the suit came with a mask and nose plugs and would allow the Fremen to survive in and move through the open desert. When the suit was fully working, the Fremen would only lose a tiny amount of water each day. The suit filters impurities, making water to drink that could be circulated to catch pockets. From there, all the water will be made available to drink through a tube attached to the neck. So you see, water is life to the Fremen, as it was once for Dune itself. It was the coming of the sand trout and the worms into which they grew that transformed the planet into the arid landscape it is. Where once it bore green life and water, now it is barren desert. The trout helped terraform the planet by absorbing the large bodies of water on Arrakis that existed, creating conditions for the sandworms to become dominant over hundreds of years. The worms can grow to hundreds of meters in length, and they are drawn to rhythms in the desert. So if you're to walk at the same pace, they would come to you. The spice harvesters that search for the precious spice melange also attract their interest for the same reasons. They believe they are being challenged and are very territorial creatures. The water the Fremen value so highly is poisonous to the sandworm, even in small amounts. So you can see the ties that bind them, the Fremen and the water, and the worms and the desert, opposites coexisting, but the people of Arrakis struggle. But water also represents hope to the people of Arrakis. The Fremen have been storing water all over Dune and plan to use it one day to change Arrakis from the desert it is to a lush place of life again, whilst preserving the deep desert for the worms to continue to survive. So the Fremen would no longer need to struggle to preserve the water and their life, and they could retain the worms, allowing both halves that struggle to coexist. Thank you for checking out my video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for all notifications.